All right, what's up? So, I want to talk about God building you. So, building. I have been in a season where God has been building me up, right? Over this whole year. I feel like God is always building us, always helping us to grow, we're always going through different things, different seasons or whatever. But I just want to focus on this because you may feel like, man, I know God is doing a work within me, but it's just hard right now. Like, I don't know if I can make it. I don't think I can keep going, right? And so I just want to say to you, if that is how you feel, I want you to know that instead of giving up and quitting, tapping out, this is the moment that you need to draw closer to God even more so, right? Because it is in his strength, it is in our weakness that God is made strong. The Bible says that come to him, right? The Bible tells us to come to him with our burdens, right? His yoke is easy, his burden is light. But see, get this too, because the Bible also talks about he'll give strength to those that are weak. So the importance of where you are in your walk, where you are in this season of building, I want to encourage you not to give up even when it gets hard. I want you to go to God and challenge God to bring his word back to his remembrance and ask him for his help in this new strength that he promises to give in the Bible. And so when you think about building, right? Think about an actual literal building. I was reading in there, Nehemiah, and he was rebuilding the wall, right, for where he was from, where his ancestors were from. They were rebuilding this wall, right? There were many obstacles that came up. There were people trying to distract them. There were people trying to discourage them, people threatening them because they did not want to see this wall come up, nor did they believe that God had called them to do this, right? And so sometimes when God calls you to do a thing, you're going to have people who don't believe that God has called you to do anything. They may not think that you have what it takes to go forth and do whatever this vision is that God gave you, right? Hey, Nehemiah went through the same thing, right? Go back and read Nehemiah. I want you to read it. And so I just find it, when we think about the building stages, even when we pass by construction, it's a mess, right? When you're in the building phases, you got debris everywhere, you got dirt, you got all kind of stuff. It's everywhere. Nothing is, it's not a complete project. It's not complete at all, right? Just like it is for us when God is building us up. So there was, I'm gonna share with you a couple of things in my journey of how God has been building me and how I've had to make the choice to do it despite of my discomfort, right? Because when God builds you, it's not necessarily going to be a comfortable thing. It's not. So my friend, she put on this event, and she put on an event back in March of this year, and she asked me to speak. And so I was like, okay, I prayed about it, and God had already told me that I was supposed to speak at this event. And so I'm like, all right, well, Lord, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to talk about or whatever? So at that time, I had to overcome my fear of speaking in front of people. Now, when God first called me to use my voice and show up, that was even a challenge online, okay? That was even a challenge, and it's just different. But showing up to a live event where people are actually in the room and you are speaking is a whole different ball game than just pushing record and posting a video or going live or doing Zoom calls, okay? It's still different. So I went and I told myself, I'm like, God, I'm going to do it. This is what you want me to do. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to back out. I'm not going to cower down. I'm going to do what you called me to do, right? I'm going to speak. And so I was so nervous. I was nervous. Now this isn't the first time that I have spoken in front of a crowd in person. This is the first time I have spoken in front of a crowd about God. Let's be clear. About ministry. I've presented stuff to people before, but it didn't necessarily have anything to do with God, okay? And so I felt the pressure on me a little bit. I got up there. I spoke. I didn't add no extra sauce. I didn't do the most. I wasn't extra with it at all. I just said what I needed to say. And then I got down. And then I was like, all right, I'm done. I literally said, I'm done. I'm like, that's it. And that was it, you know. I encourage you to actually go look at the video. I posted a video of me speaking on that day, and I just talked about just being. So if you haven't checked that out, be sure to check it out. So that was my first test. That was my first building block, right? And God was like, all right, well done. You did it. That's what's up. I got something else for you now. Right? So fast forward to this month, June. My friend had another event. This one was bigger, right? I did not speak at this event. However, there was an opportunity that came for me to step up and get out of my comfort zone yet again. So I remember me and my friend, we had talked about her vision for her event a ways away, and she was just saying that, you know, she wanted to do a prayer call and have people come up, and she wanted me to be a part of the team that prays for the people when they come up. And in my mind, I'm like, okay. I'm like, I ain't really trying to do that. And so going back to the event, after they pray for everybody, she calls people up to pray. They're all up there praying and stuff. I'm already in the front because I'm helping with all the tech stuff and making sure things are running the way they're supposed to. So I'm already up there. And there's a lady, and she's standing there waiting for her turn to get prayer. And so my thoughts to myself were, you need to get up there and pray for her. And I was just like, ooh, okay. And I went ahead and did it. I didn't spend too much time in my thoughts. I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And I went over there and I did it. I grabbed the lady's hand and we began to pray. I began to pray for her. And I just asked her what she needed prayer for, what was her name. And I just started saying whatever I felt in my spirit to say, right? By the end of the prayer, she gave me a big hug. You know, it seemed like it was really what she needed, right? Right after that, my friend comes up to me and she said, I think you need to pray for this other lady too. This lady here. And I was like, okay. And so I was, you know, reached my hand out and she came over. Coincidentally, she needed prayer for the same thing. She just had a few extra things that she needed in addition to what I had just prayed for somebody else. And so I began to pray for her as well. And by the end of that prayer, she walked away like it was really what she needed as well. In that moment, I made the decision to do what I felt that I needed to do without cowering or backing down, because praying for people has been a struggle for me in the past. And let me tell you about it, okay? So I used to struggle with prayer. I did not want to pray out loud because I felt like the devil can hear you when you pray. And I had a situation that happened. And after that, I just decided to pray in my head. Okay. It sounds crazy, but that was what I was doing. And so after that, I did not feel comfortable praying with others. Like, I didn't want to pray in a group of people. Like, if you called on me to pray, I would tell you no. Okay? Like, my best friend could tell you. I straight up said no on that call we was on. And everybody was like, did she just say no? Like, who says no? Me. I said it. I say no. Because you're not about to make me do nothing I don't want to do. Okay? So, I was very, very, very much insecure and intimidated by prayer. I would compare what it sounds like when I pray to other people. Some people have these long prayers, these many words. Some people they say all of the right things. They pray in scriptures and all this different stuff. And I just really felt like I couldn't pray like that. And so I knew that prayer was an area that God was working on me in, and building me up in. So when that moment came for me to show my growth and that I am in agreement with where God is taking me ministry wise, I have to be able to pray for people, you know? And now it's in person, okay? And so I know that where God is taking me, it's going to require me to get outside of my comfort zone and go forth and do it, and not put it all on me. Because see, I think that's where we go wrong, is that we think that when God calls us to do a thing, or when he is building us up, we think that we have to do everything in our own strength. And that is actually the opposite. Because when you start growing weak, you got to lean on God. You got to lean on him. He already said that he will give you strength. He already said that he is with you. You don't have to be afraid. He just needs you to be in agreement with what it is he wants to do through you. You got to partner with God and go forth and do whatever it is that he has called you to do, regardless of your insecurities, regardless of if you feel like you can't do something. You can. You know why? Because God is with you. Okay? And so I just want to share that, because the building process is not pretty. It's not. It's something that you gotta overcome, you gotta go through, and you can't give up. You gotta keep going. You have got to keep going. God is building me in a few areas in my life, not just in ministry, but just personally as well. And it hasn't been easy. Hasn't been easy, but it's worth it. And so I just want to encourage you today that if you are in a building season, if God is building you, don't give up. Lean on God. Go back to the Father and put him in remembrance of his word. He will be your strength. He will give you the new strength. Okay? All right, so that's all I got for you. If you have any questions, drop it in the form. Link down in the description. And I will see y'all next time. Peace out.